Hello everyone, thank you for watching Wasabi Aquarium channel. Today I'll be explaining about the suitable water temperature. By the way, are you aware of your aquarium's water temperature? You will know the exact temperature by checking your thermometer. Some of you might have heaters that indicate the water temperature, so you can check through the heater. So, how is your water temperature? I assume that most people will answer about 25 degrees Celsius. About the reasons, you might not think deeply why this is the appropriate temperature, and might receive information from books or from the internet that 25 degrees is suitable. You might have these brief informations. In this video, I will be verifying if 25 degrees is the suitable water temperature for your aquarium. I'll be talking about this because we have been receiving questions that have to do with the temperature for several times. We receive questions from those who have various plants, who tend to struggle that only certain types of plants grow well while some other types don't. While fern plants, hair grasses, stem plants are growing well, but Bolbitis and Microsoriums aren't. Or maybe the other way around. This video will provide useful tips for those who share the same struggles. We will be happy if you watch till the end. There are several reasons that explain your situation, that 80 to 90% of your plants are growing properly while the other 10 to 20% are not. One of the significant factors of the causes is the water temperature. Of course, the fertilizers you use for your plants, or the CO2, lighting does affect your aquarium a lot. However, if you are not sure why your plants are not growing well while you have followed the previous points properly, the water temperature might be the causes. Resetting the temperature will make things a lot better. About the water temperature, 25 degrees is thought to be the perfect temperature that keeps all your plants, fish in the perfect condition. Many people have the same understanding, so let us see how it is actually. If you take a look in this aquarium, what do you see first? You might see these fish. Then the plants. You see the hair grasses behind are growing well, and at the same time stem plants and Bolbitis are growing properly. Even the Microsoriums are growing well. So the question is there a common suitable temperature for every plant or fish? And is this 25 degrees? If you think about this point properly, you will realize that the appropriate temperature differs from the individual plant or fish. On the other hand, the fact that these species are in the same aquarium is making things complicated. You cannot change the water temperature every day according to the plants or creatures you like. This is why 25 degrees is set as the compromise but standard temperature for all plants and creatures. This notion might be an understanding that people have between aquariums. If you have no particular problems, 25 degrees is good enough. However, if some of your plants are not growing properly, as you may have guessed already, the temperature is not appropriate for your certain plant. If your plants are not in a good condition, changing the temperature is one of the solutions for the issue. First, let us look at the fern plants like Bolbitis. The appropriate temperature for this plant is lower than the average. They can spare with 25 degrees, but if your plant is not in a good shape, you can lower your temperature temporarily. If your water temperature is 25 degrees, you could set the temperature around 23 degrees. This will make your fern plants in a good condition even if it is not growing well. Next, for your hair grasses like Glossostigma. If your plants that are planted on the soil are not in a good condition, out of all the causes, your water might have a low temperature. Some people might have questions at this point, saying that their aquarium is set at 25 degrees, which is appropriate for Glossostigma. In fact, you have to know that the temperature for soil and water differs. If you see where your aquarium is set in your house, if you turn your heater off during the night, the air around your aquarium is cold. Thus, even if your water has a heater that maintains your water temperature at 25 degrees, the soil temperature is affected by the cold air around. So the lower part of your aquarium is likely to be cold. If you turn on your heater for your room 24 hours a day the whole year, just like we do in our store, as we keep our air temperature around 24 to 25 degrees, your soil temperature is about the same as your water. However, if you have your aquarium around your entrance or near your window, your aquarium is affected by the cold air. This makes your soil temperature lower than your water temperature. When your soil temperature is low, the bacteria in the soil is less active. By the way, about bacteria, the appropriate temperature for the bacteria to be active is around 25 degrees Celsius. Again, this explains why 25 degrees is appropriate for your aquarium. If your soil is 25 degrees, you are okay. But if it is not, this is a problem. This is why your soil temperature matters a lot. If your soil temperature is around 22 to 23 degrees, your bacteria is less active. This leads to a direct impact on your soil condition to be bad. If your hair grasses near your soil are the only plants that aren't growing well, your lower part of your aquarium might be too cold. You have to keep in mind that by keeping your soil temperature high is important for your hair grasses to grow well. Of course, stem grasses are also affected by the soil temperature. However, these grasses grow in the middle part of your aquarium, so the water temperature matters as well. It is important to keep your soil temperature high for your hair grasses. Now I will explain about how to keep your soil temperature high. There are various brands that provide film heaters that you lay on the bottom of your aquarium. These heaters are very useful. If it's difficult to lift your heavy aquarium up to set the heater on the bottom, I advise you set your water temperature higher, around 27 degrees. This makes your soil temperature higher, which leads to your hair grasses growing well. If your plants are wrong, partly please check with your water temperature. Of course, this is not the only causes for your plants, so you have to search for various solutions. However, the first fact to start on is the water temperature. As you approach this problem, it is better to have a heater which you can change the temperature manually. While there are heaters that set the temperature automatically, you should choose heaters that can set the temperature manually if you're having a plant aquarium, in order to adjust according to the condition. If you are considering of finding another heater, or you are looking for a new one, we have posted a link below about a video that explains which heater to choose. Please refer for more information about heaters via the video below. Lastly, I would like to tell you a significant point about changing the water temperature. For example, if your aquarium is set at 25 degrees, and if you want to lower your temperature for about 1 degree, you can set the temperature lower instantly. However, if you want to lower your temperature for about 2 degrees, the water temperature changes drastically. For us humans, 2 degrees is not a big deal. However, for plants, fish, or bacteria, 2 to 3 degrees is a huge impact. If you want to lower your temperature for 2 to 3 degrees, please do this gradually by lowering 1 degree at a time. For example, if you lower your temperature from 25 degrees to 24 degrees, please leave the aquarium for a few days. This will make your creatures adapt to the change of the temperature. After a few days, take the same steps and lower your aquarium temperature gradually. Do not lower your temperature for more than 2 degrees in once. This is the same when you want to raise your temperature as well. If you want to raise the temperature for 2 to 3 degrees, do this by gradually raising your temperature 1 degree at a time. Fish are sensitive to temperatures. Bacteria are more sensitive than fish are. For instance, if you were to pour in cold water, this collapses your aquarium condition. Like after changing half of the water and putting in the water directly from your water tap without adjusting the temperature. Your aquarium temperature is likely to decrease for about 5 degrees. This will lead your aquarium to having oil films, blue-green algae, or having your water dirty. This is because most of your bacteria die due to the changes of the water temperature. When bacteria dies, the water quality will become very low. It is important to maintain your aquarium status. Even if you were to have some changes, please do this gradually. Keep this in mind or your aquarium will have many huge problems. As I have explained, if you have problems with your plants not growing well when you maintain your aquarium properly or have the equipment, you should consider your water temperature. Your aquarium improves by changing the temperature a little. We will be happy if you refer to this information. If you have any other questions about the water temperature, please write in the comments below. Please keep in mind that we won't be able to answer your questions individually. However, if we see questions that are frequently asked, we are willing to answer your questions through a different video. If you liked our video, please like and subscribe our channel. That is all for today. Thank you for watching.